Peace and blessings to the family. I want to talk about something today. A very important subject because we're moving through the information age, and the quality of information that you get determines the quality of whatever action you take based upon that information. So there's a big difference between propaganda and, I would say, knowledge or information. Propaganda usually means that you have an enemy or someone who doesn't like you. So they found out enough information about you and your group to put a twist on the information and use that to manipulate you and your group and the situation. Okay? And what we're seeing a lot of that going on in our struggle for human rights, our struggle for liberation. All over the world, something happens, and if you don't really know the backstory on it, then somebody gives you like false commentary on it. So why are you saying this, Brother Magnetic? Well, I'm looking here at the East African situation, the situation that's going on right now between Ethiopia and Eritrea. Now quiet is kept. The two leaders of the country, one is Isaias Afwerki, and the new Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed. They're good friends. They work together, and they've been working together to bring the peace in the region, prosperity to the region, increase the prosperity and peace in the region. And one of the projects that's going on there is the dam that's being built. I can't think of exactly where it's at, but there's a dam that's going to produce a lot of electricity and give a lot of places that don't have water. It's a good project, right? However, Egypt doesn't want to see that project happen. So as soon as the dam, I think they started in a while ago, like 2011, or something, a while back, on building the dam. So now that it's coming to completion, okay, Egypt, who's always worked to control the water in the area, in fact, to control the entire Nile. You can see behind me, there's a map. I don't know if you can, well, look at a map. I challenge you to look at a map and study the Blue Nile, the White Nile, and just the Nile itself, how far it goes and all the different places. The Nile goes through like at least 6, 7, maybe 8 countries, man, in Africa. It's a huge water source to all of East Africa, So for someone to control one country, Egypt, to monopolize and control all of this water and not want to share it and decide who gets what portion of it. And we know Egypt is not under the control of African forces. Egypt is under the control of said Arab forces who are colonized by European forces. And the resource of water is used to manipulate and control and keep water away from who they don't want to have power, who they don't want to have productivity, who they don't want to have peace in Africa. It's a very manipulative tool being used. So now that Ethiopia comes close to building this dam, they're almost done, coming close to the completion, Egypt all of a sudden starts using its, people that it has within the region to destabilize the region. That's what you see. They're trying to make it like it's an ethnic conflict. It's really not. Whenever you see a conflict, just follow the money. Just like in Rwanda, they made it like it was between the Tutsi and the other folks. Forgot the other name. But it was really about the Belgians getting them off the land to get whatever precious resource was there. I think it was cobalt, if I'm correct. And this is the same thing going on that we see in East Africa. It's not ethnic, no, because the Tigray people, their liberation was jumped off by the Eritrean their revolutionary movement, that's in Tigray, was jumped off by the Eritrean revolutionary movement. So there's plenty of Tigray people and Eritrean people, and there's plenty of Ethiopian people who love the Tigray people. So it's all one family. However, there's a part of the family that's causing some shit. Bullshit. Now, we don't condemn all of it to great people, but we're trying to identify these folks that's starting this stuff. Okay, because it's at a crucial time. A time when Ethiopia is about to get a major piece in the key to that region's greater productivity, greater peace, more food, more access to water. That's a very important thing. Just like when we look at what Gaddafi did, where he built the water duct that brought the water all the way through to the deserts of Libya and whatnot. That was a very important project that put Libya in a very important place, in that part of Africa in a very important place. And we're looking at the same type of project here in the eastern region of Africa, the Horn of Africa. That's what this dam is going to be able to do. And we need to make sure that anything that's going to get in the way of that, that doesn't happen. You know, everybody doesn't understand what's going on in Africa, what's happened historically in Africa, and how it affects what's going on now in Africa. What do you mean, Magnetic? Well, something similar happened in West Africa to what's happening now. When Nkrumah started working on his dam project, I guess it was in the 60s, you know, all of these different forces from different parts of the world started pushing in and activating their forces within, around Ghana to destabilize that project. That was in the 60s. Now here we are, 2021? What's it, like 60 years later, huh? Same type of project in a different region of Africa, but the same type of tactics are being used to prevent Africa from getting its own power source and controlling its own power source, controlling the water that runs through its countries, you know, to create electricity, more productivity, more irrigation. So, you know, once again, there's a lot of propaganda we're going to be hearing trying to tell us that there's genocide going on over here, because the propaganda is coming from the people who don't want to see Ethiopia and the Horn of Africa, you know, independent and strong on its own. That's who the propaganda is coming from. I don't have to name names and whatnot. Y'all know who these folks are. You know, and a lot of people don't want to see that happen, because you have to remember, not only is the Nile there, not only does the Nile go through like at least 7 countries that I know of, maybe more. We're also talking about the region where the Red Sea is at, the Suez Canal. A lot of the world's trade goes through this region. So there's a power play always going on here to destabilize certain African interested countries, people who are not colonial puppets, to destabilize and keep these countries from having water. We just saw the brother Magufuli pass away. Another brother who I think was very, very interested in seeing this project in Ethiopia happen, because he's in that region, Tanzania. You know, you just saw him mysteriously pass away. So, you know, we have to look closely at these world events, right? Deaths, random deaths that happen, right? Right around the time when some major stuff is about to happen. Random destabilizations, random wars that pop up after it's been, you know, almost 30-something. What was it? It took 30 years in order to achieve the peace, I'll say. Okay, and it's been peace for a while between the regions. Now, all of a sudden, when the dam's about to be completed, the war breaks out again. Got to be a little smarter this time, y'all, and I think we are a little smarter. But what I'm saying to you, all of the listeners, don't listen to the propaganda that they're going to try to tell you that it's tribal warfare, okay? If you're from the streets, you know, stuff happening in the streets, they try to say it's senseless gang warfare. But if you're from the streets, you know that guy didn't just shoot that guy for nothing. There's a reason why stuff happens, okay? By the same token, when we apply that to Africa, we know that these things, like what we see happening now, don't just pop up. There's people in places, shy faces in high places to make these things happen. Do your investigation into East Africa, to the Horn of Africa. Who are the players there? Who are the countries there? How long does this go back? This struggle for water. Do your homework, y'all. Peace.